Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where the lowest scorers are the biggest winners. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hi there, my name's Hannah. This is my boyfriend Andy, and we both live in small villages in Sussex.
Couple number two.
Hi, I'm Simon. This is my friend and work colleague Steve. Steve's from Malvern and I'm from Bicester.
Couple number three.
I'm Heather, and this is my friend Nikki, and we're from Birmingham.
And finally, couple number four.
I'm James, this is Tom, and we're old school friends from Salisbury.
And these are today's contestants. Thanks, all of you. We'll find out more about you throughout the show as it goes along. So that just leaves one more person for me to introduce. He's a man so clever, he convinced HMRC that they owed him taxes. It's my pointless friend, it's Richard.
Hiya. Hi, everyone. Hiya. Hello to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm well.
That's excellent. We've got some familiar faces here. We've got three returning pairs, which is always quite nice, isn't it? We've got James and Tom have come back. James is a pilot, isn't he?
That's right.
That's like a proper, actually like an actual job, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a job. That's a proper job.
Yeah. But we've got Andy and Hannah back. They got knocked out in the first round last time, and they went to my old school.
Warden Park.
Warden Park School, yeah, in Sussex, which, as you know, has a reputation for fierce intellect.
Yeah.
I think they deliberately went out in the last round because another sign of an ex-Warden Park pupil is class and respect for others and, you know, humility. But this time, because it's their last chance, I know for a fact they're going to win. But round one today, they are going to have to show their mettle, I'm afraid. Round one's one of those ones where let's say it's high culture, and sometimes high culture rounds are quite interesting on this show.
Certainly are.
For all the wrong reasons.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, all our questions on Pointless have been put to 100 people before the show. Our contestants here need to find the obscure answers those 100 people didn't get. Of course, everyone's trying to find a pointless answer, that being an answer that none of our 100 people gave, and each time that happens, we will add 250 quid to the jackpot. Now, John and Anne didn't win the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that, so today's jackpot starts off at £6,000. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. OK, in this first round, I want an answer from each of you, but there is to be no conferring. Whichever pair has the high score at the end of the round will be eliminated, so do what you can to make sure that is not you. OK, our first category today is culture. There we are, culture. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. And the question concerns operas. Operas. Richard.
Yes, on each pass, we're going to give you the English names of 7 operas or operettas, but we've missed a word out from each one. Can you tell us that word, please? There's going to be 14 titles to complete in all. Good luck.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So we're looking for the missing word from the English translations of these opera titles. And here's our first board of 7. Madame Blank Puccini, Duke Bluebeard's Blank Bartok, Lady Blank of the Mtsensk district, Shostakovich, Blank Tell, Rossini, Dido and Blank, Purcell, Tristan and Blank, Wagner, and The Blank of Penzance, Gilbert and Sullivan. I'll read those all one last time. Madame Blank Puccini, Duke Bluebeard's Blank Bartok, Lady Blank of the Mtsensk district, Shostakovich, Blank Tell, Rossini, Dido and Blank, Purcell, Tristan and Blank, Wagner, and The Blank of Penzance, Gilbert and Sullivan. Now then, Hannah and Andy, you all drew lots before the show. Today, you're going to go first. Hannah, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. What happened last time?
Robbed. Blindly robbed. No, it was a game of luck, and we didn't have any. No,
you had 2 really good answers. I was very surprised by the high scores. Now, Hannah, what are you going to go for on this board? Is opera good?
Yes, actually. I know 4 of them. I think I'm going to go for Madame Butterfly.
Madame Butterfly. Madame Butterfly, says Hannah. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Madame Butterfly. Look at that. 93 for Madame Butterfly.
Hannah, come on.
It's the wrong choice, obviously.
Right answer, correct answer, though.
Great answer.
You've got to hand it to our education that that's a correct answer.
Yep. Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, Steve, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. What do you do, Steve?
I'm a web developer. I make things on the internet.
Good stuff. And when you're not doing that, what do you like to get up to? Steve,
Well, we've got a small baby at home, so most of my spare time is now spent sleeping or changing nappies and that kind of thing. But when I can, we live somewhere wonderful and hilly, so we get up and out walking, that kind of
Lovely.
thing. Yeah, outside is good.
Now then, Steve, what about opera?
Mixed. Of what's left, 3 of them I feel okay about. I think I'm going to go with Tristan and Isolde.
Tristan and Isolde, says Steve. Tristan and Isolde. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Absolutely right. 43. 43 for Tristan and Isolde.
Yeah, an opera in 3 parts, Tristan and Isolde. The original draft was Tristan and his older brother. But he changed the plot.
Thank you very much indeed. Heather, welcome back. Welcome back. What happened with you last time?
I was cursed by Harry Potter.
Yes, Harry Potter. Yes, that was a tough round. Now, Heather, remind us what you do.
I'm an accountant for a construction company.
And in your spare time, what do you like to do?
In my spare time, we like to go to a lot of parties, a lot of fancy dress parties.
Ah, yes, that's right. Fancy dress parties. Now, does opera come into your hobby list at all?
Not especially. I think there's one that I definitely know. I'm going to go for William Tell by Rossini.
William Tell, says Heather. William Tell. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said William Tell. It's right. 70. 70 for William Tell.
Yeah, William Tell Overture, of course, one of the most famous pieces of classical music. It's the Lone Ranger music.
Thanks very much indeed. Now, Tom. Tom, welcome back to the show. Now, what happened with you last time?
Girls Lie did it for us.
Yeah, you were in head-to-head.
Yeah.
Anyway. Tom, remind us what you do.
I work in financial services.
But you have, you said last time, I seem to remember, that your interests were highbrow.
Yeah, I might take that back now. Not this highbrow.
Oh, not quite this highbrow. You are the last person to have this board. I mean, you can fill in all those blanks there.
I would love to. But I can only fill in the bottom one. I think it's most obvious.
Right.
I have to go for Pirates of Penzance.
The Pirates of Penzance, Tom. The Pirates of Penzance. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said the Pirates of Penzance. Oh, that's high. 87.
Wow, what a high scoring round that's been, isn't it? But no wrong answers, but a high scorer. Now, the rest of these, you'll probably know some of these.
I think I know all of those.
OK. Duke Bluebeard's
Castle.
is correct. We scored you 7. Lady...
This one I'm less sure of. I think it's Lady Macbeth.
You are correct. It is Lady Macbeth. Shostakovich, 5 points. And Dido
and Aeneas.
Aeneas, yes. Which is slightly more, 17 points. So the best answer up there is Macbeth. Well done if you said that.
Thank you very much indeed. OK, well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores. The lowest score of that pass was yours, Steve. Very well done, 43. Good score there. Then we travel up to 70, where we find Heather and Nikki. Up to 87, then, where we find Tom and James. And then 93, Hannah and Andy. Well, actually, thank goodness for the Pirates of Penzance. They have joined you. They're just a step below you. So you're in company up there. Sometimes people are quite far ahead. But I think a little bit less pressure on Andy here. How are you on opera?
Oh, rubbish.
Well, listen, very, very best of luck. We can come back down the line now. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, let's put 7 more operas on the board, and here they are. We have got the Blank of Figaro, Mozart, Blank Grimes, Britain, Porgy and Blank, Gershwin, Blank on the Beach, Glass, Hansel and Blank, Humperdinck, The Cunning Little Blank, Janacek, and The Rise and Fall of the City of Blank, Vile. I'll read those one last time. The Blank of Figaro, Mozart, Blank Grimes, Britain, Porgy and Blank, Gershwin, Blank on the Beach, Glass, Hansel and Blank, Humperdinck, The Cunning Little Blank, Janacek, and The Rise and Fall of the City of Blank, Vile. Now, remember, we are looking for the missing words from these operas' names. And, James, you're going to try and find the one you think the fewest of our 100 people knew. So, James, when you're piloting and you're doing, let's say you're doing your little thing before you take off, because that's a fairly standard voice. What's the pitch there?
Fairly low, like baritone.
And you sort of affect, even if it's all a little bit sweaty and everyone's a bit panicky up back. I don't want to be panicky necessarily before you've taken off, but still, you affect a sort of nonchalance.
That's right.
Yeah. Does anyone actually teach you how to do that?
That's the majority of the training of the 2 years.
Good stuff. OK, now, James, you're the first person to have this board. So what is the complete name for each of these operas?
OK, I'm going to go for Gershwin, and I'm going to say Porgy and Bess.
Porgy and Bess, says James. Porgy and Bess. Well, let's see how many of our 100 people said Porgy and Bess. Here is your red line, quite low. It's right. 78. 78 takes your total up to 165. They're good, our 100, aren't they?
Yeah, they've done very well, haven't they? Yeah, Porgy and Bess is an opera. It was on Broadway as well, and they avoided ever calling it an opera, just so more people would go and see it. But it's an opera.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, Nikki.
Hello.
Nikki, welcome back. What do you do?
I'm a PA at Birmingham University.
And in your spare time, Nikki, what do you do?
Me and Heather generally dress up quite a lot.
A lot of dressing up.
Yeah.
I mean, really, how often do you dress up?
As often as possible.
Like a weekly?
I actually do it more than Heather because I work for a murder mystery company in my spare time as well.
Now, that's fun. Have you ever been on a murder mystery evening where someone's just refused to do what the script told them to do?
Yeah. There were 2 occasions I had to murder my husband.
Well, I'm assuming he was part of the murder mystery week. Yes, good. Phew. Now then, Nikki, what are you going to go for on this opera board? You are, by the way, on 70, and the high scorers are on 165. 94 or less sees you through.
Oh, OK.
You're in a good position.
Well, there's 2 I definitely know, and 1 I maybe know, and I don't know whether I'm willing to risk the maybe. I think I'll go for Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel, says Nikki.
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel. Well, there's your red line. Get below that, you're in the next round. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Hansel and Gretel. It's right, and you are through. Just, though, look at that, 90. Skin of your teeth, Nikki. 160 your total, but you are through.
Yeah, very well played. There's, goodness me, some high scorers, aren't there? Some big scores, but still no incorrect answers.
Simon, before you say anything, I can tell you are through to round 2. The high scorers on 165, you're on 43. Good answering from Steve in the first pass there. Simon, what do you do?
I'm a software developer, the same as Steve.
Good stuff. And so you work on projects, presumably you don't really... Do you meet up when you're working on things together, or are you just in touch online? Or?
Yeah, we do sometimes. Sometimes we both worked on site together. Other times we just contact each other online.
And in your spare time, Simon, what do you get up to?
Well, we've also got a young baby. And actually, she's a big Pointless fan, so a lot of my spare time is spent sat with Lucy watching Pointless.
Now, Simon, what about these operas?
I could go for the 1 I know, but I think if we're through anyway, I'll guess and hope that I get a Pointless answer and we crank the jackpot up a bit. This is totally a guess. The last one on the board, Rise and Fall of the City of Rome.
Rise and Fall of the City of Rome, says Simon. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. No red line for you. You're already through. No, bad luck. Bad luck, Simon. I'm afraid an incorrect answer, scoring you the maximum of 100 points. 143, your total.
Good for you, Simon, though. It's a nice thing to have tried. You knew it was a tough one. I'll give you the correct answer at the end of the pass, though.
Now, Andy. Yes. Andy. Oh, we have a game on our hands here,
We
Andy.
do, not a fun one.
We have a game on our hands. Now, not only are you an ex-pupil of Richard's old school, you now teach there.
I'm teaching assistant there, yes.
Yeah, teaching assistant there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you have brought the spirit of Warden Park
I'm feeding it
right
to the
here
next
to the
generation.
studio. Yeah, you have. You know what you have to do. You went out round 1 last time. It cannot happen this time. You're on 93. You have to score 71 or less. That's quite easy.
On another round, maybe.
Talk us through the board, Andy.
I don't know any of them, I'm afraid. The Music of Figaro. I'm going to skip that one. Betty Grimes, that sounds fun. Murder on the Beach, that sounds fun as well. The Cunning Little Rabbit, perhaps. But the one I'm going to go for, and what I'm going to guess, is the last one.
Good luck.
I'm going to say The Rise and Fall of the City of Atlantis.
The rise and fall of the city of
Atlantis.
Atlantis.
That's my guess.
Atlantis. OK, here comes your red line. You get below that, you're in the next round. Atlantis, is that right? The rise and fall of the city of Atlantis. If it is right, how many people said it? Andy, I'm sorry to say, an incorrect answer scores you the maximum of 100 points, takes your total up to 193. I'm really sorry.
Oh, Andy. Honestly, if I could think of anything to say to make it better, I would, but I can't. So the rise and fall of the city of, well, we know it's not Atlantis, we know it's not Rome. There's very few cities left. It is, of course, the rise and fall of the city of...
I don't know, it's the only one I don't know on that board.
Mahogany. 4 points that would have scored, so very well done if you got that. City of Mahogany. There we go, something to remember.
There you go.
It's not the music of Figaro, it's...
Marriage.
Marriage of Figaro, and would have seen you through because it's only 67 points. And the next one down is...
Peter Grimes.
Peter Grimes, Betty Grimes' husband, yeah, would have scored you 28. It is not Murder on the Beach.
It is Einstein on the
Einstein on the beach, yeah. 6 points. And the cunning little...
Vixen.
No, it's Rabbit, I'm afraid. No, it's Vixen. 17 points for that.
Thanks very much indeed. Now, at the end of our first round... Oh, this is terrible. It was last time first round, this time first round. Andy and Hannah, two clearly bright contestants. I'm afraid opera was what we threw at you.
Oh.
Marriage of Figaro, did that somehow ring a bell?
I'm not really an opera buff, to be honest.
Fair enough. Well, I'm afraid we have to say goodbye to you this time. This time it really is goodbye. But we've loved having you on the show briefly each time. But Andy and Hannah, thanks so much for playing. But for the 3 remaining pairs, it's now time for round 2. And so 3 pairs remain, and obviously at the end of this round, we'll be saying goodbye to another pair. Well, that was an incredible round. I have to say, with remarkably few incorrect answers, it was our highest scoring round probably ever. So best of luck to all 3 pairs. Our category for round 2 is tennis. Tennis. Can you all decide on your pairs? Who's going to go first? Who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many players who've defeated Andy Murray in a Grand Slam tournament as they could. Players who've defeated Andy Murray in a Grand Slam tournament, Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for the name of any player who has beaten Andy Murray in a singles event in a Grand Slam tournament since he turned professional in 2005, all the way through to April 2013, please. So it's any of the Grand Slam tournaments, which are the Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. Very best of luck.
Thanks very much indeed. OK, so we're looking for any tennis player who's defeated Andy Murray in a Grand Slam tournament since 2005. Now, Simon, tennis good for you?
No, tennis is terrible for me. I'm sure it's going to be very high scoring, but the only name I can think of is Roger Federer.
Roger Federer, says Simon. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Roger Federer. Is right. 54. Not too bad. 54 for Roger Federer.
Yeah, it's the Madam Butterfly of answers in this round, I suspect, Roger Federer. Yeah, he's beaten Murray 3 times, all 3 times in finals, actually, Wimbledon, US Open and French Open.
Thanks very much indeed. Now, Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki, tennis?
Reasonable.
No, I meant tennis. We've got some rackets in the court back here. Do you mind if we just went and had a quick...
Absolutely, go ahead. You go right ahead, as long as you don't mind us carrying on with the show.
No, I think we'd better remain. We'll remain as we were. Back to plan A. Nikki, we want the name of any tennis player who's beaten Andy Murray in a Grand Slam tournament. What are you going to go for?
I could go for one of the really obvious ones.
Well, no, don't do that.
But I'm not going to... I think I'm going to go for Joe Wilfried Tsonga.
Joe Wilfried Tsonga, says Nikki. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. He has. Three, Nikki. Very, very well done. That's a great answer. Joe Wilfried Tsonga.
Very well played, Nikki. Yeah, Murray's beaten him a couple of times, but Tsonga beat Murray in the first round of the Australian Open in 2008.
Thank you, Richard. Now, Tom. So, any tennis player who's beaten Andy Murray in a Grand Slam tournament?
I'm going to go for Stanislav Wawrinka.
OK, just say it really slowly for me.
Stanislav Wawrinka.
Stanislav Wawrinka. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said that. It's right. Two, Tom, for Wawrinka. Very well done indeed.
Yeah, you beat him in the US Open, in the last 32 of the US Open in 2010.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores. 2, the best score of that pass, Tom. Very, very well done indeed. Then Nikki and Heather on 3. And then all the way up to 54, where we find Simon and Steve. Steve, you go on tennis.
Simon makes me look good at tennis, so not feeling good about what's coming.
I have a feeling I might know what's going to happen in this next pass. Anyway, we're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? So, James, we're looking for any tennis player who's defeated Andy Murray in a Grand Slam tournament since 2005.
OK, not my best subject by a long shot. This is a bit of a punt. I'm going to say Novak Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic, says James. Well, you're on 2. The high scorers are Steve and Simon on 54. If you can get below that red line, scoring 51 or less, you are through to the head-to-head. Djokovic, is it right? How many people said it? It is right. And you're through to the head-to-head. Very well done. It's still going down. Look at that, 26. Very well done. 28, your total.
Yeah, Djokovic beat Murray 3 times, all in Australia. Beat him in the final in 2011, 2013, and in the semi-final in 2012 as well. But Murray, of course, famously beat him in the US Open 2012.
Thanks, Richard. Heather. Oh, no, is this bad for you? Yeah. Well, all you have to score is 50 or less, and you are through to the next round. So, any tennis player who's beaten Andy Murray in a Grand Slam tournament?
Is Andy Roddick a tennis player?
I don't know who you're asking.
I'm just thinking out loud.
No one's allowed to tell you.
Andy Roddick.
Andy Roddick, says Heather. Andy Roddick. Well, there is your red line. Below that, you're in the head-to-head. Let's see if Andy Roddick is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. It's right. And you are through on the strength of it. 7, the third lowest score of the round, Heather. 10 is your total.
Stab in the dark.
That is another suspiciously good answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he famously broke British hearts by beating Murray in the semi-finals at Wimbledon in 2009.
Thanks very much indeed. Now then, Steve. There is grave news to be imparted here. I'm afraid you're the high scorers even before you've answered. However, what would you have gone for? Sorry, what will you go for? We still need an answer.
It's tricky. As I said, my knowledge of tennis is worse than that of Simon. So I might say Leighton Hewitt.
Leighton Hewitt, says Steve. Leighton Hewitt. Let's see if that's right. No red line for you, I'm afraid, as you're the high scorers already. But let's see how many of our 100 people said Leighton Hewitt. Let's see if it's right. No. Bad luck, Steve. Incorrect. Scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 154.
Sorry, Steve, worth a punt, though. They've never actually played in Grand Slams, Hewitt and Murray. They've played in lots of other tournaments, but never in the Grand Slams. Now, let's take a look at some pointless answers. There's 9 pointless answers here. It's not that many people have beaten Murray. It's usually one of the big guys who does. So some of these were from earlier in his career, but some big-name players. Arnaud Clément beat him in his first US Open. David Nalbandian, the Argentinian, beat him in his first Wimbledon. The Chilean, Fernando Gonzalez, beat him in the quarterfinals of the French Open. Verdasco beat him in the Australian Open. Gael Monfils, the Frenchman, beat him in France. Hyung Taek Lee beat him in the last 32 of the US Open. Juan Ignacio Schella beat him in Australia. Nicolas Almagro, the Spaniard, beat him in France. And Davydenko beat him in the US Open in 2006. Let's take a look at the top 3 answers. We've already heard a couple of them. Djokovic, 26. The other famous tennis player, Rafael Nadal, would have scored you 42. And right at the top, Federer, 54.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So, at the end of our second round, I'm afraid it's Steve and Simon who'll be leaving us with our high score of 154. Tennis. Yes, that didn't play very well into your hands, did it, I'm afraid?
We're not doing much for the stereotype of software people, really, are we?
No.
To be honest, I wasn't really sure what the stereotype was.
Oh, that's very kind.
No, there you are. Anyway, listen, Steve and Simon, we'll look forward to seeing you next time, when I'm sure you'll do much, much better. But thanks very much for playing meanwhile. Steve and Simon. But for the remaining two pairs, it's now time for our head-to-head. Congratulations, Nikki and Heather, James and Tom. You're now one step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £6,000. Now, to decide which pair's going to play for that money, you're now going to go head-to-head. The difference being that now you are allowed to confer. The first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. OK, here comes your first question, and it concerns famous foodies. Famous foodies, Richard.
We're going to show you 5 pictures now of famous chefs and cooks. Can you name the most obscure?
OK, let's reveal our 5 famous foodies, and here they are. We have got A, B, C, D, and E. There we are. 5 famous foodies. Now, Nikki and Heather, you've played best throughout the show so far, so you get to go first.
Excellent.
Are you pleased with this?
It could be worse. It could be tennis players.
Do you know any of those?
I know.
Yeah, some of them.
2. How many do you know?
I would say 3.
Yeah, I'll go for that. It's okay.
Okay.
OK.
Okay, we'll go for A, is Raymond Blanc.
A, Raymond Blanc. Now, James and Tom.
We thought we had an answer for A, which is different to that.
You can submit another answer for that if you like,
I
but
think
talk
we
us.
may have been wrong.
Well, talk us through the board. You can say who you thought A was.
If going for French chefs, what Marco Pierre White.
B, we think possibly Mary Berry. E, Gary Rhodes. And C and D, we're not sure. What do you reckon?
Mary Berry, then.
We're going to go B, Mary Berry.
B, Mary Berry. Say James and Tom. B, Mary Berry. Now, Nikki and Heather have said Raymond Blanc for A. Let's see if that is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Raymond Blanc. Oh, not Raymond Blanc, I'm afraid. James and Tom, you merely have to be correct with B, Mary Berry, and if it is right, you will have won this question. Is it? And how many people said it if it is? It is, of course, right. Very well done. 54 for Mary Berry. After one question, James and Tom, you're up 1-0.
Ah, the lovely Mary Berry. She came on the show,
Lovely
didn't she,
Mary
with Paul
Berry, yeah.
Hollywood? Wasn't she nice?
Wasn't she nice?
She's delightful. Yeah, so A is not Raymond Blanc, I'm afraid. It is a French chef, so guys, it is...
Marco Pierre White.
No, he's English. It's Jean-Christophe Novelli, is A. And he would have scored you 8 points. He's been on as well. C is the first man to get a Michelin star in Northern Ireland. Looks like he's in a Genesis tribute band there. It's Paul Rankin. Paul Rankin, he would have scored you 6. D is the lovely Lorraine Pascal. She would have scored you 18. And E is, as I think both teams knew, Gary Rhodes. And he would have scored you 37. So the best answer on that board is Paul Rankin.
Thanks very much. So here comes your second question. James and Tom, you get to answer it first, but Nikki and Heather, you have to win it to stay in the game. Good luck. It concerns Big Ben. Big Ben, Richard.
We're going to show you 5 clues now to facts about the London landmark that's commonly known as Big Ben. Can you provide us with the best answer?
Thanks very much indeed. Let's reveal our 5 clues, and here they are. The special anniversary it's celebrated in 2009, the occasion for which Big Ben's chimes were first broadcast on radio in December 1923, the number of years the bells were silenced during the First World War, the language in which the inscription under each clock dial is written, and the Queen in whose honour the clock tower was renamed in 2012. I'll read those all one last time. The special anniversary it's celebrated in 2009, the occasion for which Big Ben's chimes were first broadcast on radio in December 1923, the number of years the bells were silenced during the First World War, the language in which the inscription under each clock dial is written, and the Queen in whose honour the clock tower was renamed in 2012. There you are. 5 clues to facts about Big Ben. James and Tom, you go first.
Go for it.
Yeah. Can we go for the occasion for which Big Ben's chimes were first broadcast? I think the news.
The news.
Yeah.
the news. The occasion for which Big Ben's chimes were first broadcast was for the news. Now, Nikki and Heather, the board is all yours.
We don't know the anniversary. The number of years the bells were silenced during the First World War, we were guessing 4, but we're not sure about that. We're thinking the language is probably Latin, and the Queen is the current Queen, Elizabeth II. But we were thinking the occasion is New Year's Eve.
OK.
At midnight.
Wow, the midnight New Year thing.
OK, New Year.
Yeah.
OK, New Year, say Nikki and Heather. James and Tom saying the news, Nikki and Heather saying New Year's Eve. Let's see if the news is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said the news. No. No. Let's see if New Year's Eve is right. And if it is right, and that's all it has to be, Nikki and Heather, it will win you the question. Absolutely right. Very well done. 7. Good answer, good score. And exactly what you needed to do. After 2 questions, you're back in the game. It's 1-1.
Let's take a look at the rest of these. The special anniversary it celebrated was 150 years. 14 points for that. It was only silenced for 2 years during the First World War, so it would have been a tough one to go for that. 9 points. The language, it is Latin. Would have scored you 45, and the Queen is the current Queen, Elizabeth II. Would have scored you 50. So New Year's Eve, actually the best answer on the board, so very well played.
Thanks very much, Richard. So it comes down to a third question. This is the decider. Whoever wins this goes through to the final and plays for that jackpot of £6,000. Best of luck, both pairs. Your third question concerns films with a nationality in the title. Films with a nationality in the title, Richard.
We're going to show you the titles of 5 films with 1 word missing, and that word in each case is a nationality. Very, very best of luck filling in the gaps.
OK, let's reveal our 5 films with a nationality missing, and here they are. The Blank, Julia Roberts, 2001. My Big Fat Blank Wedding, John Corbett, 2002. The Good Blank, Kate Blanchett, 2006. The Blank Job, Michael Caine, 1969. And Slap Her, She's Blank, Piper Perabo, 2002. I'll read those all one last time. The Blank, Julia Roberts, 2001. My Big Fat Blank Wedding, John Corbett, 2002. The Good Blank, Kate Blanchett, 2006. The Blank Job, Michael Caine, 1969. And Slap Her, She's Blank, Piper Perabo, 2002. There we are, 5 film titles with a nationality missing. Nikki and Heather, you go first this time.
Oh, we only really know 2.
Should we go for the wedding one then?
We'll go for the wedding one. We'll go for My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
OK, Greek, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, say Nikki and Heather. James and Tom.
Well, there's a film you know a few. I think it's the Mexican, is the top one. The Italian Job, and I think I'm going to go for the highbrow one. I'll go for Slap Her, She's French.
Slap Her, She's French, say James and Tom. Slap Her, She's French. So we have My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said that. My Big Fat Greek Wedding. It's right. 66. James and Tom are going for Slap Her, She's French. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said that. It's right. If it beats 66, and it does, it sees you into the final. 23. Very well done, James and Tom. After 3 questions, you are through to the final 2-1.
Well played. My Big Fat Greek Wedding grossed nearly $370 million worldwide. Slap Her, She's French, less so. Scored less. You were right about the Mexican. Would have been a very good score as well. Would have scored you 10 points. The Italian Job is the biggest scorer up there, perhaps unsurprisingly, 87. And the best answer on the board, this starred George Clooney as well. It was The Good German. 5 points if you said that. Very well played.
Thanks very much indeed. So the pair leaving us at the end of the head-to-head round, I'm afraid, Nikki and Heather. Ah, well, but it was a great head-to-head round, and you played incredibly well. New Year's Eve was a particularly good answer. Very well played, in fact, the whole way through today's show, and I'm sorry we have to say goodbye to you now, but it's been great having you on. Thank you so much for playing. Nikki and Heather. But for James and Tom, it's now time for our Pointless Final. Congratulations, James and Tom. You've seen off all the competition and you've won our coveted Pointless trophy. You now have a chance to win our Pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £6,000. Well, I have to say, it's been a very highbrow show today. Very highbrow indeed. Yeah, I think you deserve a break, I think, in this round. You've done very, very well, and extremely well played throughout. Now, as always, you start this round by choosing a category, and you have a choice of 4 options. They are Madrid, the British and Irish Lions, Ancient Rome, Dance.
Wow. We're thinking the lesser of those 4 evils might be dance.
Really?
Shows how evil it is.
They're all as bad as each other. Let's say dance.
Good. Good. You're going to go with dance. They've gone with dance, Richard.
Yeah, we're going to give you 3 categories now. Hopefully it'll make your job slightly easier. It might make it slightly harder, but let's take a little look. Can you give us the name of any film for which Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers both received an acting credit, according to IMDb? Can you give us the name of any professional dancer who's won Strictly Come Dancing, so any of the pros who dance with the celebs who've won Strictly, or any ballet which Darcy Bustle has been the principal dancer or soloist for the Royal Ballet at the Royal Opera House, please? So any ballet for which Darcy Bustle has been the principal dancer. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers films, professional winners of Strictly, and Darcy Bustle performances. Very, very best of luck, guys.
OK, as always, you've got up to a minute to come up with 3 answers. And to win that jackpot of £6,000, all you have to do is find just 1 pointless answer. Now, remember, the answers you give can come from any of those categories. There can be 3 from one, 1 from each, 2 from one from another. It's entirely up to you. Are you ready? OK, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Right, any Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers films?
I can think of Top Hat, then? That's the only one I know.
Yeah, I think that's going to be quite a high score.
If you work our way down, professional, I never watched it become dancing.
Flavia Cacaccia is a professional dancer on Strictly. Anton de Beck. You wouldn't know who Lisa Riley's partner was.
I'd never watched it.
Wow. And Darcy Bustle.
Just think of famous ballets.
I think avoid that. I think professional winners of Strictly Come Dancing, Anton de Beck, Flavia Cacaccia. Who are the others? Who's the guy who danced with Lisa Riley? Because they were in it for ages.
Australian dancer, aren't they?
Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. There's a song, The Night They Turned Loch Lomond into Swing, but I don't think that's his show. I think that's just a...
10 seconds left.
Do you know any of their other films?
Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. No, I think we'll take the one film, which I think might be wrong. Yeah. Two dancers.
Yeah, got it.
OK, that's your time up. I'm afraid I now need your 3 answers. What are you going to say?
OK, I'm not sure that this is a film. It may be a song from a film, but I'm going to say The Night They Turned Loch Lomond into Swing.
The Night They Turned Loch Lomond into Swing.
As being a Fred Astaire and Ginger
OK.
Rogers. And professional winners of Strictly.
I don't know.
Flavia Cacaccia.
Flavia Cacaccia.
And Anton de Beck.
And Anton de Beck. OK, there are your 3 answers. Of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Probably Flavia.
Flavia Cacaccia will put last. You're least likely to be pointless?
Probably The Night They Turned Loch Lomond.
The Night They Turned Loch Lomond into Swing. OK, let's put those answers up on the board in that order, and here they are. We've got The Night They Turned Loch Lomond into Swing, Anton de Beck and Flavia Cacaccia. Well, very, very best of luck. Your first answer was the one you thought was probably the least likely to be pointless. The Night They Turned Loch Lomond into Swing. OK, now, if this is right, and it's pointless, it will win you £6,000. What will you do with that, James?
I think our girlfriends will probably have spent it by the time we get home. But possibly deposit for a house, something like that.
Yeah.
Tom?
Furnish the flat I've got. Probably, you know, put some actual furniture in it, maybe.
Well, it's just completely empty now.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Well, very, very best of luck. 3 perfectly reasonable-looking answers on the board there. This first one, though, and it's just some song you know, and you think it might be the name of... It could be the name of a show.
You never know.
It'd be very, very exciting if it were. Let's find out.
Yeah, it would.
For £6,000 was The Night They Turned Loch Lomond into Swing, a film starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. No, bad luck. Bad luck, an incorrect answer. So, on to your next answer. We were looking in this instance for professional dancers on Strictly. You have gone for Anton Dubek. Again, if it's right and if it's pointless, it will win you £6,000. Let's find out. Anton Dubek, was he a professional winner on Strictly? No, bad luck. 2 incorrect answers. Everything is now riding on Flavia Cacacia, your third and final answer. But you thought this was probably your best shot at a pointless answer. So if this is right, that's all it needs to be, really. You can see how far down the column you get. If you get down to the bottom, you leave with £6,000. Let's find out. Flavia Cacacia, was she a winning professional on Strictly Come Dancing? Yes, she was. Very well done indeed. Your first answer, the night they turned Loch Lomond into swing, was incorrect. Your second, Anton Dubek, was incorrect. But Flavia Cacacia has taken you down into single figures. Down she goes. Oh, no, bad luck. 'That's a good score. 5 is a good score, whichever way you look at it. Sadly, in this last round, we are only interested in pointless scores, and I'm afraid you didn't manage to find that pointless answer, so I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot of £6,000, which will roll over onto the next show. But we've loved having you on the show, and you do, of course, get to take home a pointless trophy each, so very, very well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, unlucky guys. Strictly winners wasn't the worst category in the world for you. You know, you had a stab at it. Anton Dubek has never won Strictly. 3rd place is the best he's ever done with Leslie Garrett. And it was since they turned Loch Lomond into swing. That is a song. It's from a film called Carefree, which would have scored you 1 point. Let's take a look at some of the pointless answers. Some people would have done well in a couple of these categories, I think. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers films. Roberta was a pointless answer. Shall We Dance? Some people would say it's their best film, Swing Time. That would have been a pointless answer. And The Gay Divorcee was nominated for an Oscar. It's also a pointless answer. Well done if you said any of those. The professional dancers, there's only 3 pointless answers here. Aliona Villani, who danced with Harry Judd, she would have been a pointless answer. Camilla Dallarup would have been a pointless answer. She won it with Tom Chambers in 2008. And Darren Bennett won the 2nd series with Jill Halfpenny. He would have been a terrific answer. Let's take a look now at the Darcy Bustle ones. And these are ones that perhaps people could have had a guess at, some of these ballets. Cinderella would have been pointless. Giselle, Romeo and Juliet, and The Sleeping Beauty, all of those would have been pointless answers. So well done if you've got or guessed any of those at home. So there's stuff up there you could have got, but you played terrifically well throughout 2 shows. So well done, guys.
Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to you, James and Tom, but it's been great having you on the show. Thank you both so much for playing. James and Tom. Well, sadly, James and Tom didn't win our jackpot today, which means it rolls over onto the next show when we will be playing for £7,000. Join us then to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.